Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 17th of December 2018. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few charts as usual. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay guys, so now then let's jump into the chart. So I hope you're all feeling nice and refreshed after the weekend. So yep, but let's now look at the markets and let's try to squeeze something out of them this week. So okay, the first one I want to look at is Nikkei 225 here. Now looking at this one, we can see that overall, yes, we are still trading below this medium-term upside support line here, taken from the lows of the 26th of March. And but now what's more interesting here is from the very short-term perspective, it seems like it's kind of forming a nice rising channel formation here, as you can see on this chart. So on this daily chart, of course. So yet last week we saw this lower side of it getting confirmed, this lower side of the rising channel getting confirmed, and from which the index managed to push back up here, but kind of failed to touch this key important area of resistance that I had marked here before the 21,920. So in a way we could adjust this slightly here and mark the high of the high of last week, basically, which was near the 21,875 area. So this is going to become our gateway here. If we get a nice pop here above this level, then this is going to be our gateway towards higher levels, and this is where we could then target the 22,240 level marked by the inside swing low here of the 30th of November. But if that doesn't hold, I mean, if we see further acceleration of the price to the upside here, and then yep, we could then aim for slightly higher levels like the 22,585 area, approximately there, or in a way could aim all the way here towards the 22,690 level, approximately there, which also would coincide here with the upper bound of this rising channel formation. So for now, of course, be very careful with this one. Certainly, if this decides to move back down here and breaks below the 21,280 zone, of course, this is where we're gonna keep on monitoring this lower side of the rising channel. But if that gets broken and the index drops below the 20,972 area, approximately there, which was the low of the 26th of October, now this is where it could become more interesting for the bears, as this could open the path towards the 20,345 level, which was marked here by the low of the 26th of March. So for now, basically what I would kind of probably suggest here, guys, is to be very careful here for now. Probably let's play this game very cautiously, and especially let's play this index very cautiously, and let's on the in order to kind of start considering higher levels, let's wait for a nice good pop above the 21,875 area. And on the downside, well, even like I said, if this retraces back down, I mean, we could see this one on the lower side of the range holding the price again. But if this gets broken and the price drops below the 20,972 level, this is where we'll aim for lower levels. So yep, for now, guys, be very careful with this one, but at the same time, it's very, very interesting. Looking at gold, and gold is well, let's have a look at it this way. I mean, it's still trading above the this medium-term upside support line taken from the low of the 16th of August. So in a way, it kind of gives us more like a bullish indication. So we're still kind of positive overall in the long run. We're still positive on gold. The only thing is that from the very short-term perspective, now this is where you should be very careful. And let me just jump into a 4-hour chart on this one, as it will be easier to show you. So from the very short-term perspective, we are kind of trading above this little in a way you could call it a tentative upside support line here, taken from the lows of the 13th of November. So this is where we're going to keep an eye on. We're going to keep a close eye on this line, as this, because if it continues to move lower, and eventually if we're going to get a break of this upside support line, this very short-term upside support line, and and gold will drop below the 1230 level. Now this is where it could make the bears happy, and we could see further declines here, maybe even going all the way here towards the 1219, 1220 level, approximately there. So yep, this is where it could become interesting. But if this continues to hold, if this upside support line continues to hold, then we could see maybe another push higher here. The only thing is, again, we should probably, from the very short-term perspective, we should keep an eye on this little also in a way tentative downside resistance line taken from the high of the 9th of December. So this could also stall the price for a little bit, and of course the big battle between the bulls and the bears could start off here. I mean, who's going to take the driver's seat? But if this gets broken, then yep, we could then aim for the highs of last week near the 1251 level. So very good potential area of resistance, the 1251. But in order to consider that, we need to get a nice good move here above this little short-term downside resistance line. So for now, as you can see for today, what's in regards of today's trading, you can see that it's currently trying to get back above this pivot here, but it's kind of struggling still. So for now, that's why we're going to be very cautious. That's why we could potentially see a bit more declines here, maybe again, like I said, towards this short-term upside support line. But if this continues to hold, good sign for the bulls. But if this gets broken, yep, a bit of declines could be possible, at least maybe towards the 1220 level if we get a break below the 1230. Jumping into another index here, which is the dollar index. Now, last week I was talking about this one, and to be more specific, I was talking about this one on Friday. So on Friday it was popping to the upside nicely here, and this is what I was telling you guys, to keep an eye on this this little area here, this potential resistance area near the 97. Let me just get rid of that. 97.70. As you can see, it acted as a very strong, good area of resistance, and from which the bears managed to push this one back down here. And not only they managed to push it back down, they also managed to push it back down below another key important area of resistance, which was previously resistance, strong resistance, but now then it became good support, and they managed to drop the price even below that. So below the 97.54, 55 area, approximately there. So now we can see that the index closed last week below that level. So in a way, probably it's not ready yet to go further up here. So in a way, this is where we're gonna keep on monitoring. If this gets back above the 97.55 area, approximately there, and then eventually breaks the 97.70. Now the 97.70 level is going to be our gateway towards higher levels. So for now, we're going to stay very cautious with especially with the upside here. In order to kind of consider these higher levels, we need to see a nice good pop here above this 97.70 level, and let me just quickly mark that for our future reference. And this is where we could then aim for higher levels like the 97.88, or even actually the 98 itself, or even higher. But again, for now, let's not overcomplicate this. Let's keep on watching on the upside. Let's keep on watching the 97.70 level. On the downside, well, I mean, looking from the very short-term perspective at this one, and let me just kind of adjust this back here. There we go. So currently, as you can see today, right now, it is kind of moving below the pivot here. Now of course this could reverse back up here as well. I mean, we could see that another push higher, but for now looking at this, it seems that it wants to travel a little bit more to the downside. This could be seen as a correction of somewhat. In a way, for today you could keep a close eye on this little tentative upside support line, but this is where it could become interesting for the bears. If this starts dropping below the 97.30 level, approximately there, which was marked by the high of the 13th of December, if we get a drop below this, certainly this is where we could hit the upside support line. But if that gets broken, well, I mean, this further declines could be possible, and this is where we could aim for the lows of last week, near the not last week, I do apologize, lows of the 13th of December, near the 96.90 level. So approximately there, this could be a potential good support area, but only if we get a nice drop here below this very short-term tentative upside support line. So keep your eyes on that one. Let's see how this plays out, and let's be very careful with this one. And let's jump into a few pairs now. So the euro dollar, well, yeah, last week, let's look at this daily chart. And last week, basically, a very interesting activity here from the euro dollar. So in a way, yes, we managed to finally break this short-term upside support line that has been running here from the lows of the 13th of November. And you can see on Friday, the pair managed to pierce through this strongly through this line, and managed to reach the 112.70 level, approximately there. This level here, this support level around the 112.70, also acted as good support on the 28th of November. So in a way, you can see the rate got stalled here, but this is where the bulls managed to kick in here and managed to drive this pair back above the 113 level. So in other words, basically, even though we are still looking quite negative, let's say, on this one, just because it managed to break this short-term upside support line, it managed to drop and managed to close the week below that line. And the problem here is that because the bulls managed to kind of drive it back above this 113 level, and in a few of my videos in the past, and I was kind of telling you guys that this 113 is kind of becoming like a psychological level, even though it's not the most attractive one, but in a way it's something becoming like a psychological one, and the pair continues to bounce around that level. So you can see that the bulls managed to drive back above it, and closed the week above it. So they closed the week below the upside support line, but closed above the 113 level. So this makes us a bit more cautious, because if the pair would have closed below the 113, this, of course, we would probably be more confident with the downside, and we could then aim again quickly for the 112.70 level, or even actually going much lower here. So for now, of course, be very careful with this one. You can see that we're getting a bit of retracement back to the upside. And let me just jump into the 4-hour here. You can see that the the pair is trying to get above the pivot here. Certainly it managed to do that right now, but it's not really that of a strong move here. So in a way, even if this is going to travel a little bit higher here, keep on monitoring this upside support line. This is where the rate could stall for a little bit. So in order to kind of consider much higher levels, guys, we would need to see a nice good push, not only above the this upside support line, but also above the 113. Let me just quickly mark that for our future reference. We would need to see a nice good push above the 113.30 level, and this is only then we'll consider a possible move higher, maybe even going towards the 113.65, or even actually all the way here higher towards the 114.45 area, approximately there. So keep your eyes on this one. Very interesting pair right now, and let's see how this plays out near this upside support line. Let me just kind of put a few arrows here for our future reference. So yep. And on the downside, in a way, you could play the careful game here and wait until we drop below the 112.70 in order to kind of be more on the safe side, and and then we'll aim for much lower levels, like the 1.1215 level, which was marked here by the lows of the 12th of November. And looking at the USD-CAD here, so looking at the USD-CAD, now this is a very interesting one, and looking at this 4-hour chart here, you can see that overall, yes, we are still climbing higher, we are still above, well, within this rising channel formation. The only problem here is that last week it failed to create a new higher high, and kind of getting held here by this little short-term, in a way, tentative downside resistance line taken from the peak of the 6th of December. So we're going to continue monitoring that, because if we want to look at much higher levels here, we would probably need to see a nice good push above this downside resistance line. This, in a way, tentative one, but still nevertheless quite an important line right now. So if we get a nice pop here above this downside resistance line, then we'll probably aim for the levels like the 134.25 or the 45 area, which was marked here by the high of the 6th of December. If this decides to reverse back down here, and looking at today, for example, this is what you could, in a way, keep an eye on. You could keep an eye on this low here near the 113.65 level. A nice good drop below this could potentially open the path towards much lower levels like the 133.20 level, or even actually going lower, the 132.95 mark. So for now, guys, be very cautious, be very careful, and let's see how this plays out. But again, like I said, on the upside, we do have this downside resistance line here, which could, in a way, hold the rate for now. But if we get a nice pop above it, then yep, let's start considering much higher levels. Okay, guys, I hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. And if you want to join me later on, my traders tea time, and that's 14:15 GMT time. So yeah, but for now, thank you very much, and have a nice day. Bye bye.